Today on General Hospital, Rocco is assaulted in juvie. Justine begins to realize Dalton used her, and Jason tries to convince Britt that she can trust him. Carly wakes up in Jack's bed at the Metro Court, and he asks if she has any regrets about last night. She tells him, "No, I made my choice and am sticking to it." He knows he hurt her by not telling her about Vaughn, and he's trying to do everything he can to keep his work life separate from her family. Kaylee gets up to order breakfast and freshen up, and while she's in the bathroom, Jack calls Joss for an update. Joss happens to be in bed with Vaughn at that moment. At Joss' place, she fills Jack in that Lucas is still at odds with her mom, but feels she has his back. Jack asks her to make up with her mother and hangs up. Joss vents to Vaughn that Lucas doesn't deserve this. Marco is bad news, as is Sidwell and Spoon Island. Vaughn reminds her that stopping Faison's project is the goal here, which she knows, but she's using someone she loves and putting them in danger. Vaughn offers to back her if the time comes that she wants to get Lucas out, and Brennan disagrees. She knows that puts him in an awkward position. He says she is worth the risk, and they passionately kiss. Back in Jack's room, he's semi-dressed when Carly emerges from the bathroom. He asks what's troubling her as he can see something is wrong. Carly says it's Joss encouraging Lucas to move in with Marco and Sidwell, the latter of whom is dangerous. Jack suggests she find a way to make peace with Joss and Lucas. Jack thinks Lucas will see the real Marco in time, and it's clear she and Joss have a special bond, so they should patch things up. Carly thanks him for seeing how special her daughter is to her. They're interrupted when Jack gets a text and has to report to work ASAP for a last-minute meeting. At the hospital, Liz asks Lucas how his first night at Windermere was. Lucas is grumpy and says everything was great until it wasn't. Lucas can still sense that Marco still blames Sonny for his mother's death. Liz points out that Lucas has many people he cares about who also care about Sonny, so perhaps he should step back and let Marco handle this on his own. She suggests he can support Marco, but doesn't need to go all in with him against Sonny and cut off his family. Outside, Carly and Joss run into one another. Both are on their way to see Lucas, and Carly tells her daughter that she's sorry for taking her worries about Lucas out on her. Joss says she's sorry for not backing her, but it's evident that Lucas wants this, and they need to support him. Carly still worries that Marco may not be someone Lucas can trust. Joss warns her mom that if she forces Lucas to pick between her and Marco, she may not like his choice. Jack meets with Vaughn in a back alley. Vaughn provides him with intel on what went down with Dalton at the Brown Dog last night. He called in Joss to work the guy over as he was drunk, and Dalton told Joss that he has another lab off campus. Jack asks if he wasn't worried about putting Joss in danger. Vaughn says he stuck around to make sure Joss didn't need backup. Dante visits Rocco in juvie. They hug, and Dante tells his son that Danny and Charlotte are coming forward to help him, which Rocco doesn't want them to do. Dante explains he's facing serious charges, and this is the only way to clear him. Dante tells his son to stay strong as his bail hearing is in 24 hours. Rocco asks if he'll be home for Thanksgiving, but Dante doesn't know. The PPPD. Justine is upset as Henry Dalton didn't show for a meeting. She asks Nathan to find him and bring him in if they don't hear from him soon. The forensic report doesn't back Dalton's claims, and she believes Dalton set Rocco up and used her to do it. Dante arrives, and Justine assures the top cop that she's trying to resolve Rocco's situation as quickly as possible. She heads off, and Nathan fills Dante in that Justine suspects Dalton, who is MJ, fled because he has been caught filing a fake police report. Dante wants Dalton found now. Nathan heads out to investigate and calls Dante back, saying there is no sign of Dalton at his place or lab. Nathan admits Dalton has the ability to disappear, which could delay the bail hearing. Dante won't let that happen and wants his son out today. Laura walks into her office to find Sonny waiting for her. Sonny says that soon people will ask questions about Dalton, so she needs to act surprised when she learns he's missing. Laura cries that she spent half the night looking for a planted murder weapon in her apartment, and she thinks maybe they should put the body back in the trunk, and she'll go to the cops and keep him out of it. Sunny says she can't do that because Nathan was on the scene and believed he was going to change her tire. She'd have to admit she lied to the cops, which would open them both up to criminal charges. Sunny says Rocco is better off with Dalton dead. Laura says it paints a motive for her, but Sunny says, no body, crime, no motive. There is a knock at the door and it's Martin with flowers to congratulate his sister. However, when he sees Sunny, he accuses him of being the one who almost cost his sister her re-election. Sunny says they are family and have a grandson in trouble right now, which is what they were discussing. Sunny heads out to see Rocco, alone. Martin tells Laura she can't let her love for Rocco blind her to who Sunny really is. They argue back and forth about whether Sunny has any good in him, with Laura saying, unlike their brother Cyrus, Sunny has a sense of justice. Martin warns her that the closer she is to Sunny, the easier it is to get pulled down with him. He notes someone like Sidwell will make her and Sunny pay for the outcome of the election. Laura admits he may be right. Sunny arrives at juvie, and Rocco has been beaten bloody. Sunny takes the guard to task for what happened to his grandson. Once alone with his grandfather, Rocco says he thinks he was targeted because his dad is a cop. Jason shows up at Britt's apartment to make things right between them. He says she can trust him enough to tell him about her connection to Dalton. She assures him she doesn't need his or anyone's help and suggests he leave. Jason says she is sick, and one day she will need someone. Britt points out she's been in remission and is healthy now. Jason wonders if working at the Five Poppies has something to do with staying in remission. Jason knows he let her down, and he will again because he's not perfect. He knows his best isn't always good enough, and she can keep pushing him away, but he will prove to her that she can trust him. In juvie, Sunny tells his grandson everyone in here knows his name, even the kids. Sunny wants Rocco to let anyone who messes with him know that they also mess with Sunny. Corinthus. Dante shows up at Laura's office, where she's still with Martin. He lets her know Dalton is missing, and she gasps. Brits. She and Jason are interrupted when Nathan shows up. Nathan asks if she's seen Henry Dalton, as he's disappeared. Britt says she hasn't seen him. The hospital. Lucas tells Liz he wishes Carly could see his situation the way she does. He says Carly told him that Marco was using him and has no respect for him or this relationship. Outside, Carly tells her daughter she wants to make things right with Lucas, but she doesn't know how. Joss suggests not to ambush him at work and let her figure something out. Carly admits that's a good idea. Finally, in the alley, two agents show up and grab Vaughn. Jack tells Vaughn that he warned him not to pursue a relationship with Joss, and that this is what happens to people who disobey him. The men drag Vaughn off.